Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is Star Wars Saturdays, even though we're running on a Sunday. It's a Saturday somewhere, right? Time travel? I don't know. It counts. I've so named it because I normally run on Saturdays, and I run lots of different RPGs set in the galaxy far, far away. And this is a bit of an experiment. I'm playing a game. We're running cyberpunk. So it's CBR+PNK is the way that this pamphlet size stripped down version of a Forged in the Dark game is so dubbed. Found it on Itch. It's a pretty beautiful little pamphlet design, but it is definitely a stripped down game. And so if you're coming in with a lot of knowledge of Forged in the Dark, you'll realize that there are some things that have been scaled out of this to make it. The game designers' vision was that this would be a one-shot only. And the idea is these cyberpunk runners are doing their last job. I've decided to do it as a 2-session thing because I just don't love one-shots as much as the next fellow, it seems. I like to get a little bit more story, but we'll see if because of the Forged in the Dark engagement roles, if we do just one job, we'll see. I'm very curious to see how it'll go. We do have some safety tools, which are important for making this a better game. Our safety tools are lines, which are lines we don't cross. These are pieces of subject matter that we are not going to handle. And just, we're not saying it doesn't exist. We're just saying it's not part of our story. We're not interested in it. And we also have veils, which means we're okay if this subject matter takes place, but we don't want to shine a light on it. It's a thing where we'll quickly fade away or cut to another thing, fade to black, something along those lines, some kind of quote unquote movie trick so that we don't dwell on this particular subject matter. And then we also have ask first, which means that this is subject matter that situationally could be okay, but rather than just declaring it openly within the game, in fiction, with your character saying it, pitch it to the group. For example, I always put ask first on midichlorians because this is a Star Wars game, and some people get really tweaked about the concept of midichlorians, and it went from the Force to it's a science, and they get upset, they get all up in arms. So if I'm going to introduce the idea of midichlorians, I'll check in and say, hey, I think I'm going to mention this person has a high midichlorian counter. Somebody's going to talk about a midichlorian serum or something. Is everybody cool with that? And if everybody gives us a thumbs up or says, yeah, sure, that's fine, or rolls their eyes but doesn't object, which I've seen, I take that as affirmation that we're okay to go forward, and we do. But if any one person says, can you try it a different way, then let's not litigate it or debate. Just respect that and come up with a different idea. If you're like, that's the only idea I had, just check in with the group. We've got 4 beautiful brains here. I guarantee that somebody will help you get over that little speed bump. Not a roadblock, a speed bump, like a boom, boom. That's it. We noticed it. We moved on. We're still going the same speed. And maybe our axles aren't great, but that's okay. We'll just keep going. We also have the X card, which is the trump card in a good way, allowing us to, we didn't know that we would run into X or Y thing, but it bothers us. We X card it. I'll pause, check in, just to make sure I understand what's been X carded. We excise it from our play and move on. Open door, of course, is also a thing. You're grown-ups. You're here to play a game. If the thing in the real life needs to be taken care of, go do the thing. If you can give me a heads up, awesome. If you can't, that's okay. We'll continue playing, and you can come back, no fuss, no muss. Or you can not come back if you still have to take care of the thing. You say, okay. So with all of that out of the way, let's go. I can't go left to right in the character keeper because of the design of this character keeper. Everybody's like on top and below. So I'm going to start at the top, which means that Sabine, if you could introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit about your character.
Yeah, sure. My name is Sabine. I use any pronouns, and I'm going to play Ava Veer, who uses she, her pronouns. And Ava Veer is, she has cyber arms. Okay, they're very strong. She can recently, or not that recently really, but well, yeah, she had put in some stuff that she can just telescope the hands out, so to hit someone who's not quite near here. But there was a disagreement about the costs of this thing. And since then, some people might think they want to go and hunt her. Ava is not very good at being hunted. She is very good at taking out people. That's mainly what she does. She used to be, okay, don't sue her for that. She used to be a stormtrooper, and then she, yeah, well, then she had this encounter with someone with a lightsaber, and then she needed cyber arms. So but cyber arms are really good in a way, I guess. So you can, because you can punch harder with them. Eva's a very simple person, mainly. She says she punches people for money, so that's what she does. What she thinks about that, well, who cares, right? She's just a grunt.
You're muted, Rich.
Rich, you're on mute.
I said such amazing things. Wow, that's amazing. I can't repeat it with quite the same verve. That's awesome. A stormtrooper who lost her arms to a lightsaber. That's great. I hope everybody cool with that setup. Awesome. What do you think, Sabine, about Ava's, like the surgeon who performed this work being the block doc? Are you okay with the block doc? It's an NPC that's on row 10.
Okay.
And yeah.
Sure, I mean, whatever, I guess. I mean, row 10, where's row 10? There's row 10, block doc. Block doc. Oh, that one. Yeah, right.
Have you heard of the block doc before?
I have. I think I've heard of them. Yeah, but they're
I was gonna say,
plastic.
Rich, you might want to give her the voice before she.
Okay, yeah. If you find this annoying, then you don't want to have, because the block doc will be hunting you, right? Because you took hunted. So
Yeah.
it turns out that you wanted to have different arms, but you didn't want to pay for them.
But I did pay for them. You just changed the price after you know.
Partial payment isn't payment. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Block doc bother you? Okay.
Yeah, he
Okay.
is a bit ridiculous, but yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
he's super ridiculous. He is the most ridiculous NPC I think I've ever voiced in all of Star Wars. Yep. So if that doesn't bother you too much, then that is who is hunting
Nope,
you. Is
it does not bother me. He can hunt me all he wants. We will not get a better, or maybe he will get a better voice. I can punch in his voice box.
you could try.
Yeah,
He's not going to come after you himself. He's got lots of beautiful nurses.
Love it. I'm being hunted by beautiful nurses.
Yes, and they all look pretty much exactly the same. Sweet. Thank you so much. So Ava is skilled in close combat and ranged combat. She is a combat monster. She is got this amazing cyber arms. I think she's pretty dope. Yeah, clone nurses, totally. Next up is Steven.
And playing Clocks, whose pronouns are also he, him. Clocks is near human. He's kind of a Lobot kind of person. He has a brain augmentation that allows him to interface to computer systems. And he also has a glitchy interface with droids, wireless interface with droids and local cameras, because who knows what the droid's agenda is. So it's sort of glitchy to deal with. Clocks is basically, he's kind of the brains of the situation. He's good at, breaking into Imperial systems and getting into computer systems to figure out, where things are and how to, get past protections and that kind of thing. He's also very good at observing areas. I've got a tick in that. And then I have a background of, he knows his official name. Odron Gabir was modified by Imperials and trained to interface to Rebel systems. He was very focused on time management and maintaining schedules for the rest of his team, thus the name Clocks. He doesn't remember his history before the Imperials and took advantage of the fall of the Empire to go to search out his origins. Was there anything else you wanted, Rich?
You beat me to it because I was totally going to ask, like, why did he get so augmented? And now we know that is wild. I like it a lot. Does anyone else have questions for why clocks became clocks? All right. Learn the
'Cause
truth.
I have no piloting skill. I have no fighting skill. I'm just the wuss. And I think they have to drag me along through anything a little bit more intense.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
did you
worry,
talk about the learn the truth, like what you're trying to learn the truth about? You know your character's name, but there was
My
more.
origins. Yeah, like where I'm from and all of that. I think all I have is a name from my Imperial records.
Oh, nice. Very cool. Yeah, that's good. We will definitely see more of that. And last but certainly not least, our special guest player, Sherry.
Hi, I am playing Sci-Fi 6. She is, what do you say, a freelance negotiator for corporate black ops or any of the underworld. When they're going after someone that they would rather not kill but bring back into the fray or something like that, Sci is the person that might get sent in because they're pretty good at negotiating or trying to convince people and things like that. It's not a 100% ever. When someone is in fear, you never know what you're going to get, but that's mainly what they are. Very rational. They're very good at bringing people back around to what's the best thing for them to do for the long run. So that is what they are all about. They're very high and streetwise. She knows the city well. She's good at moving it around. And that's because of what she has, one of the pieces of gear she has. And she's super good at influencing people and getting them to go along. Her observation is okay. And she does have firearms that she can shoot, but I wouldn't call her a pro at. So, but her cyberware is veil key glasses. So essentially it is like from the veil, she can see what's physically real and what the veil is placing in. And she's got kind of constant IDs of the people that are coming by as much as the veil knows. So essentially
It's like pop-up video constantly going for
exactly. It's just that. So, and then, and she has that sort of a kind of veil awareness to an extent, and she can kind of like tip her head up and see what's above her according to the veil, that kind of thing. So it's kind of a mapping thing, but it's not like you got schematics in front of you, but you can see that there's a bunch of names up above you, upstairs people are there, right? And then I took it as glitchy. She could also use them to help her with aiming, but she has to roll a glitch die when she does that. And that would be, I guess, something I could call in as a advantage sort of thing, I guess. Or give me another die, but it's glitchy. I don't know, however you want to handle that.
Yeah, that sounds good. So if you decide to bring in the aiming reticles, then one of your dice, you'll get an extra die, but one of the dice will be glitchy, which means that even if you roll a success on other dice, if it's a 1, 2, or 3 on that glitch die, it is a complication will happen. And that's always fun. Who doesn't want a complication?
Exactly.
Right?
We all want complications.
Way to go.
So I guess I'm what, the voice? I'm the face, or no, I'm not the face. Face is the front man, but I'm a person who's most likely to be doing the talking.
Yeah, you're the mouth, I guess. I don't know. This is a pretty cool. It's funny as I think about this particular job, your fixer, who's up on our NPC tab under the underworld, Janice. Your fixer's really smart because he pulled you guys together for this particular job, and you're perfectly suited for what you are about to do. I am unhiding a particular tab. The tab is to the right of Carannia City, or at least it should be for you. It is called Octoria Hotel. The Octoria Hotel is a super luxury hotel owned by the corporation Osiris. Now, Osiris, which you can see in Carannia City's tab, is a computer tech as its business core, but it is kind of a zaibatsu. Like, it has a number of smaller spin-offs and holdings in numerous different industries. And in the entertainment and leisure section of their portfolio is the Octoria Hotel, super luxury hotel owned by Osiris. If you take a look at our Carannia City map, you'll see that the Octoria Hotel is just at the edge of the corporate quarter, right on Zsinj River, which is a river that separates the Hive being one of the poorest sections of Carannia City, the capital of the planet Serenno, the capital city of the planet Serenno. It separates the Hive from Porg Quarter and Corp Quarter. Octoria Hotel is a showcase in extravagance, with privacy options that are second to none, and a waiting list that includes some of the richest individuals on the planet. Sitting in the Zsinj River and only accessible by speeder or boat, the guest suites begin on the 50th floor to ensure that everyone, subject to credit checks and memberships of the appropriate corporate boards and royal dynasties, is afforded a view denied to those socially and literally below them. Should they wish, a guest at the Octoria could spend their entire stay without encountering another living individual. It's rumored that a number of suites have been bought out entirely to house guests who've run afoul of the ever-shifting corporate politics, and yet they remain too powerful to be permanently disposed of. And so I ask the three of you, maybe this is clocks because you keep things running on time, how is it that the three of you are approaching when we first see Octoria Hotel on the Zsinj River? Are you coming in on a speeder? Are you running in on some kind of exclusive boat? Are you approaching through another method?
And through another method, which I think is a maintenance crew. And as far as maintenance crews, you said that 50th level and 50th floor and up is where most of the guests stay.
Yeah,
so that they have a good view.
Exactly.
Well, below the 50th floor is all of the support for the opulence that exists above that. And so we're coming in from the tunnels underneath that help pipe in supplies and support and servants and all that kind of thing into the rest of the building.
Nice. I like it. So that is our opening sequence, is the three of you coming in through a service tunnel, not the sewers. You're not doing a sewer tunnel thing. I'm not interested in that at all. But you are in a subterranean thing. The river rushing overhead, Duracrete tunnel that you're moving through, which imagine this is a Duracrete tunnel that is more connected to the corporate quarter. There's no links out to the Barons or the Hive, as it's also known. So yeah, we see the three of you approaching. Maybe there's a moment where Clocks, you're coming up to an entryway and you've got a slice in there, but we cut away from that to the place where you guys met with Janice, your fixer. So I'll ask Far 6, was this group created just for this particular job, or have you guys been working together?
I think that we're a permutation that reoccurs for certain jobs. We all know each other, and and we've worked together before, but this isn't the only group that any of us work with. If that makes sense.
Nice. You guys are all like your freelancers, and occasionally you kind of get together to work a particular job, and sometimes it'll just be two of you with others. I like that. So we'll pick up at the Chip-Off Cantina. And so this is the meet. When you're meeting with Janice to get the deets on your job, and of course, as Rich, I'm hard framing, say that you've accepted the job. But I'm really curious to see the flavor of you guys. So the Chip Off Cantina is this cantina that's not far from the Porg Quarter. It is more of a local pub than a hoity-toity place. It's famous. The Chip Off Cantina is famous because there was a pop star who once came here after one of her concerts, and from that point the Kofuko, her name's Kofuko, the Kofuko fans like observe that time, and they still kind of hang around. So there are these like pink and purple studded, not quite college age kids that have made this kind of their hangout, even though the place isn't really stylish, that is run by an older, almost cyborg guy by the name of Block. And it's still got a homey feel to it. So as Janice comes in, he sets up his little deck with the data pad attached. How is it that Ava arrives, and is this a place that Ava's been to before or first time here?
Oh, I think Ava's been there before. I don't know what the name of the celebrity was, but I think she's a fan. So
Cool.
she comes there. She usually sits in a corner, sipping a drink. She doesn't hang with the kids, obviously not, but just kind of bathing in the afterglow thingy,
Nice.
listening to the latest gossip,
Oh, well.
and punching people who make trouble. That sometimes people come in and think, hey, these are just kids, we'll make trouble. And yeah, that's Ava really likes that when people do that.
She likes when people come in and make trouble so that she can stop the trouble. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. So like the lower level riffraff is handled by this Twi'lek by the name of Tazkarat. But yeah, I'd say that you've probably pitched in a couple times when things got a little rough. I'm curious though, being an ex-stormtrooper, whenever the imps come around and cause trouble, do you pull a fade, Ava, or like what do you do?
I don't pull a fade. Why would I? I mean, I wasn't like, I didn't desert or anything. I was thrown out.
Nice. Do they feel sorry for you?
They better not. They start to feel sorry for me. Punching starts.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, so do you think they feel sorry for you? Do you think the troopers honor you for your loss? How do you perceive it, Ava?
I this is my past. I don't deal with my past. Okay, this is all in a box somewhere deep in the far recesses of my mind. I was a stormtrooper and I'm not anymore. Other stormtroopers, I don't care. Right? It's not something I want to think about. I mean, I wasn't really, I was once, I was really like, oh, I want to be a stormtrooper. Being a stormtrooper is better than what I got here on my mining planet home. But it wasn't in the end. It just wasn't.
Okay, cool. What about clocks? What do we see? How do you get here, and what's your familiarity with a place like Chip Off Cantina?
So I think we set up a meet at a specific time. So Clocks arrives exactly on time and comes in and does exactly what he's supposed to, comes in, shows his ID to the entryway person. Even though, he's been here many times before and it shouldn't be a problem. And then goes directly to the booth he's supposed to go to. Sits down, looks around, nobody's there. Very no nonsense, very much this is what we're going to do. I think that other people are familiar with Clocks. He's been here a number of times. And I think the bartender brings over, a very nondescript glass, it looks like it's filled with water, but it fizzes a little bit, and that's about it.
Okay, cool. And then Sci-Fi, you set this up. So what about you? What's your relationship with Chip Off Cantina, and how do we see you get here?
Well, it's where you go when you're meeting with Janice. Janice like loves this place.
It's
it-
true.
It's like at least a third of the time, this is where you're meeting up with Janice, right? And so I think she goes here, but she's familiar with it, like familiar enough with it, like when she walks in, the first thing she does is she sort of goes over to the song selection, the jukebox, you know, and she picks out a set of songs. And I think then she goes and sits down with clocks, but like she has, you would almost guess like a set of things that she always chooses.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mhm.
She's got a pattern.
Yep.
Cool.
This, and essentially she set it for talking to, essentially the fixer. So it's kind of like calming. There's no thing that's gonna like get in the way of like if someone says something, there's no of those like beats in the music or
Mhm.
kind of runs that make it harder to hear the details or anything like that. But it's pretty lively and it'll be loud enough that other people aren't, it's not easy to overhear.
And then
Sound
Ava,
bubble.
I love it. That is a very, very good plan. Ava, you're eavesdropping on a little bit of the scuttlebutt, and you overhear a girl who calls herself Eerie. She's chatting with her friend Eternity, and the rumors they have is that Eerie is saying, no, trust me. Kofuku is gone. She hasn't been here for months. All of this new music is just remixes. You've got to know that. And Eternity says, yes, it's a whole concept album, all remixes. That's the whole thing. You've seen the video. She says, that's not her. Come. And she pulls like the little data crystal, and you see this like music video, and there's all kinds of lights. And you see Kofuku, and then she taps a button, and the beautiful Kofuku with her cool little visor and a very trendy hair, she stops, and then she rolls it back. She says, look at the way she moves her left arm. That's all wrong. That's not really her. It's a program. They just built a program to look like Kofuku. She's gone. Attorney said, no way. And then Ava, as you eavesdrop on this bit of conversation, you see Clocks comes in, Sai goes over, jukebox, sets up the music, she takes a seat, and then you see Janice comes in, sets up his little display.
Yeah, I wander over there, like still looking at my own data crystal of Kofuku and wondering, yes, this is a whole. I'll ask Clocks about it. He'll know that. So
He will. He likely will. Thank you all for gathering, Janice says. Now, Janice is, well, Clocks, you might have a little bit in common with him, because about 6 months ago, Janice was pretty stylish. Like, he enjoyed getting mixed up and keeping up with fashion. And then he 6 months ago, he just made this determination, you know what, I need to put my brain matter focused on the job at hand. And he chose one specific outfit and purchased a dozen sets of it. So now it's almost like a uniform for him. This is what he always wears. So it's just one less thing to take up his brain space. And so he flips over his little cyber deck and puts the data pad where it's facing up. And he says, the three of you, you've already signed the NDAs. I appreciate that. The pre-negotiated amount for just the stipend of taking the job has already been transferred to your accounts. What you need to do, team, is you are going to be working for an unnamed corporate. We'll call them Corp 1. This corporation has requested your specific skill set. What I need you to do is that currently there is a guest at the Octoria Hotel. Her name is Chinda Phi. She's worked at numerous corporations over the space of 2.5 decades. She is very good at her job and has been difficult to pin down. However, the way that she has been successful, team, is that she drives up a particular market for her corporation, drives up a particular market by scraping out resources from the impoverished, and then replaces whatever has been scraped out with inferior goods, reaps those profits as the sudden influx of people to grab those resources, particularly in real estate most recently. And then she moves on before that corporation will take the fall. Chinda Phi needs to hand over her access, the keys to the kingdom, for the well, not for Corp 1, but let us say that the Ping Corporation is where she is currently employed and owns a significant percentage of stock. You need to convince her to turn over her shares of the stock. There are biometrics tied and keyed to her ownership of said stock. Once you have convinced the target to turn over the stock in Ping, anything that happens to her afterwards, if she were to have an unfortunate accident following that transfer, well, these things happen. It is not part of the contract, but if it happens, it happens.
And there's no bounty, no additional pay.
There's no additional pay if Chinda Phi is to meet an untimely end. Do you have any questions?
Has like data coming across it, and Clocks kind of reaches out to the table, and that data kind of starts duplicating on the table itself. I think it's like a flat screen kind of table. And then, Clocks kind of pulls that in and says, I think we have all the data we need. Can you give us any additional access to, what's the name of the hotel?
Doctoria.
Victoria.
No, infiltration, unfortunately, will be on your heads. But that's why I assembled you as a team.
Understood.
And I just dropped into chat the details. Gain access to Chinda Phi in her suite at the Octoria. Persuaded her to transfer her shares into an offshore shell company and then get out. When the share records, the shares can be accessed remotely. Authorizing the transfer necessitates physical presence due to the biometric signatures that are required. Cool. So then we will cut to the three of you getting to the first.
Actually, I'm going to ask one question. With the transfer of the shares, did they provide an interface for us to have her use so that she can't fake us out or anything?
Yes, he does provide you with a biometric checker set and transfer data. He also will be like he's going to ride the feed. He's got a clone of the feed, so he'll receive that once the transfer is complete. He doesn't receive the transfer himself, but he assures you, I'll know when you guys have been successful, and then I'll complete the payment to your accounts for the successful completion of your mission. Good. With that, he turns off his little data display, closes up his cyber deck, and says, excellent choice in music, as always. Thank you so much, Sci-Fi, Ava, Clocks. Now make his way out. Are there any gather informations or other prep that you guys want to do before we jump right back into the engagement role, which should be our next step?
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Yeah, seems like a good idea to do that.
So I think, we already have some information how we described we were getting in, which
Mhm.
is the, going in through the service tunnel. So I think we found that out during
Mhm.
our
Yeah.
reconnaissance.
Don't even need to roll for it. I accept it. That's totally cool. That's your insertion point. We still can talk about an engagement roll because it's kind of, to me, the secret sauce of Force in the Dark games. So
So I think, let's see, influence, is that to be used for understanding the world of those who have influence, or is that for having influence over someone? Is it active?
I think
or
both. I think
Okay.
both.
All right. Then I probably would go, okay, what are the circles that she goes in? Does she have allies, or is it enemies all the way down? Kind of thing, that standing with the court. And it's sort of that kind of information to get an idea of who she's going to be paranoid about and who she is less likely to be paranoid about.
Great. Then if you want to tell me, like, how are you gathering this information so that I can visualize what the potential threats might be?
I think that since she has worked for all the other corps and stuff,
Mhm.
I think it's pretty easy to do the search for all of the publicly accessible, like the events and things like that. Take a look at like who she's associated with, and then you say what happens to her associates while she's there with them, and then as she leaves, like what happens, like who takes
Mhm.
the fall after she does her stuff.
Who would be the most angry? Got it.
Exactly.
Got it. And
So-
is this just searching through what online scuttlebutt? Do you have particular corporate contacts that you're reaching out to?
Well, I mean, I've certainly worked with plenty of the black ops. I could check with one of the corps that is the most recent that she did a dump out on, and
Okay.
see like if they've got any scuttlebutt, like do they want anything, essentially. I mean, heck, if I could get a second score to go with this.
Nice. All right.
All
Let's say
right.
that you are speaking to a member of the Yen group. And let's go ahead and have you make an influence roll, and we'll see how that gather information works for you.
Yeah, so let's see here. That's just a 2d6, so I'm just gonna roll 2d6. I don't have a glitch die, so
Do you want to spend any stress to?
no.
Okay. And this game doesn't have any listing of Devil's Bargain, so
Yeah.
it's just what it is. Very stripped down.
So I got a 5, it's my highest, which is not
Okay.
bad.
Not bad at all. A 5 is going to be a partial success. You do it, but suffer consequence of harm, reduced effect, lost opportunity, or complication. And I am going to go with complication. The last group that she worked for is the Yin group.
Mhm.
And the Yin group is actually, Mr. Nakamori is your contact, and Mr. Nakamori assures you that Miss Phi she was, for all of my interface, and a very bright employee, and Yin Group is eager to regain her services. She was recruited away from Yin Group to Ping, and they offered her a very sizable package to jump.
Is that usually how she transfers between the two places?
No, but it seems that she's built ahead of steam, and enough people speak highly of her capabilities that they would rather her not continually seek new challenges.
All right. So I sort of stop and I say, so you'd have a counter offer?
We would. Of course, she rejected it. She is interested in credits. Who wouldn't be, of course? but she does still seem to have an interest in new challenges. And she moves on like a locust. It's disappointing.
All right, so they can't keep. I guess there's got to be some bad feeling because they've tried to get the thing. So would I resist that to try to get the scuttlebutt then of the actual scuttlebutt?
The complication is that the Yin group would like her back. That
Okay.
the scuttlebutt about her is that she moves on and leaves nastiness in her wake, but in actuality, it looks like she at least impressed Yin group and doesn't seem to be as motivated by credits as many of her contemporaries.
Oh, and that's kind of recently, maybe?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Less motivated by credits, more by challenges. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, then there would be some follow-ups for it, but I will let other people
All right.
take it.
What kind of like the layout of the hotel, where she might be located, where her office is, and what kind of protection they have in place.
Oh,
Just-
yeah.
yeah.
That'll be interesting. I'm really curious about this. How do you imagine Clocks is trying to gather this information?
I think he's
I have-
trying to go through. Oh, go ahead.
I have an idea because this might take place before Clarks gathers information. I could get you a droid from there, one of the service droids, and then you can use that to gather your information, and that would be my gather information. Like
That sounds perfect.
I would take out
Nice.
one of the service droids and drag it to Clarks so he can then do his thing with the service droid.
I'd
Because
love to
that's
see it. And do you want to set that up as a gather information?
Yep.
That's
that would
super
be my,
interesting.
because I don't know how else I would gather information using close
love it.
combat or something like that. So
Cool. So you find out that Octoria Hotel has a very large number of protocol droids, service droids. So you will let's see you take one with you. Let's see how this
Yeah.
goes.
yeah, this is basically I think what I'll do is I mean these protocol droids will get people from the pier, right, where they get on these boats to take them to Octoria Hotel.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I will hang around there, eat ice cream or something, and then when a protocol droid isn't really watching what he's doing, I'll just shoot out my arm, grab him, drag him into the water, and then take him with me.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I love that setup. So you're using aggression, I think, is your approach, and
Yeah.
close combat.
Yeah. Mhm.
Cool. So you're
So
rolling a
I-
total of 5 dice, none of which appear to be glitchy. Are you using your cyberware?
I am,
Oh,
absolutely. I am.
cool. So if you
Of
want to bring
course.
that in and you didn't get it set up as glitchy or hunted, so
Nope.
that means you get another die. So you're rolling 6 total dice. If you wanted to trade in that close combat cyber karate, you could reduce 1 die to increase your effect, meaning do it without anybody else witnessing it, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
That seems like a good trade. So I'm rolling 5 dice. See how that goes. Wow. That does not go well at all. Like, wow. That is
Ouch.
that is a really
Okay.
bad roll.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you grab a protocol droid because, hey, the good news is it's not going to fight back. It's a
Mhm.
protocol droid. It's like, oh my, yank it into the drink, drag it away, pop a restraining bolt on it if that's a thing that you do. Bring it to Clocks. Clocks, where do you meet with Ava with this protocol droid heist?
Equivalent of a speeder bus station that we stop at. Yeah. Something
Cool.
nonchalant. Yeah.
Sweet. So you realize when she hands it over that there are two things, and you can still do a gather information from this, but want to make you aware of the complication from this failure is that number one, this thing is emitting a basically a catch me, I've been stolen, it's low jacked. Secondly, this thing, half of its cyber brain is just not part of the install. This thing is a lot more, it's not a fully articulate protocol droid. It's more drone than droid. Does that distinction make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You can resist those consequences, right?
You can.
It's me, right? Who can resist
Oh,
that?
that's true. Yeah, it was your.
Yeah, how would I do that?
Describe how you want to resist it and roll with one of the approaches.
I think I'll go the usual way. I hit it. I mean, I can hardly resist the fact that it has only half a brain, but I can resist the fact that it has a tracer, and because, you know, there's a blinking light and I just punch it.
Awesome. That sounds great. So then you'll be rolling with aggression as your approach in your resistance roll.
Okay, let's see if I can roll better. I did roll a d10, d6, right? Wait, I rolled what? No, I did roll d6.
You rolled d6.
Yeah, I was just checking because, you know.
No, it's always a good idea to double check that.
Wow, I cannot roll well in this.
Oh my
2 is the
goodness.
highest. Yeah.
Oh, this is the worst. Okay, so it's a close call. You have to mark. Here's the thing. You resist it. A good thing about resistance and force in the dark is it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like you punch it and you took out the homing beacon. So you see, Clocks, you see that there was a homing beacon, but Ava is smart enough. She knows her stuff. She's a pro. She took it out. Unfortunately, Ava, if you're taking a look at the game rules, it's on column D, row 15. With a 1 to 3, it's a close call. You mark 3 stress for that resist roll, which is the max. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Stress can be, you can recover from stress, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, you didn't do the rookie mistake. Like you almost did, but then you remembered. Bam. But it was pretty stressful. Maybe it was hauling this thing out. But
yeah. Maybe when I punched it, I punched into something that sent up a little electrical spike through the cyber arm.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah. It had a little bit of countermeasure. And yeah, so Clocks, you make that discovery that this thing doesn't have a full, like it's not a full protocol droid. It's partially droid, but it's one of those like ask it 3 questions with a third question. It by itself couldn't possibly answer it. The other thing that you notice is that this is a modified protocol droid, and Ava, maybe you both notice this together. This thing is armed, which protocol droids, like that's just not a thing you do. But this thing is definitely has blasters. So if you want to make your gather information.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do this by using caution and probably hacking and slicing.
Okay.
I'm going to use my interface with droids, which is a glitchy piece of cyberware. So does that add a 4th dice, but that 4th dice does something weird?
Yes, if you're adding in your cyberware and it's glitchy, then you'd add the die, but the leftmost die is the glitch die.
Okay. Let's roll that to see what it looks like. The leftmost die is a 4.
Okay, then that means you can use it. It's not going to cause any complications. And it looks like you have a critical success to me. You have 2 6s.
And I'm looking for a glitch. I'm looking for a 1 or a 2. Is that right?
Yes. Sorry. For a glitch, you are. Let me just double check. I thought it was 1, 2, or 3, but let's double check. Glitch. Glitch die. When a PC has a die from gear, approach, or action marked as glitchy, one of the dice will be a glitch die. The glitch rolls a 1, 2, or 3. Regardless of the action outcome, the PC suffers a consequence.
Perfect. Okay. So what happens on a critical success?
That is a great question. So on a critical success, you succeed and gain an extra benefit, most likely increases the effect. So I will say that you can, well, let's just ask your questions and we'll work out a way that you get an extra benefit. Does that seem fair?
Mm-hmm. And
right.
Are the list of questions under gather information?
They are, the list of questions on your little character sheet is under gather information on row 71, starting in column AE.
So I'm going to ask, what's the best way in? Is this where I get 3 questions?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's the best way in?
Best way in is through the service tunnels.
Yeah.
Which you're already at. Sorry. Like, I already said we establish it, but you're going through the best way in.
Yeah. Okay. How can I get the staff to believe that we are guests or inconsequential?
Great question. So you realize that while investigating this protocol droid and trying to understand why somebody would limit its functionality, you realize that there's basically somebody has the capability to control it, that there seems to be a mastermind that's running the hotel, and all of these protocol droids are the extensions of its. So they have been reduced to droid functionality rather than being full, or drone functionality rather than being full droids. So in answer to your question, if you can trick one, you trick them all.
Did any of you have another question before I ask my last one? I was thinking, is there anything else going on here or something like that? But if you have any specific questions that we could find out from this drone, Ava?
No, I mean, I would have asked about the countermeasures, intrusion countermeasures, but I think we have already a good hint with the protocol droids and that they're all.
Yeah, I think whenever you say, what about the protocol measure, I flip over the limp arm of the protocol droid, and it's got like the little pop-out weapon there, and I'm like, there we go. And so then in that case, I'll ask, what's really going on here? It seems odd that there is a mastermind. So I'm asking more about that. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, you do some research knowing that that Osiris set up Octoria Hotel, and you are able to find an abandoned AI construct project that was officially abandoned, and realize that an automated luxury hotel could be a hotbed and could be a testing ground. And what it looks like from the way that this mastermind is working is it's not somebody doing it. It's not a rigger, but appears to be controlled by this AI. The AI even has a designation because you got your critical success. And I will drop it into chat. You can call it what you want, but this is what it is designated as in the Osiris files.
Yes, nice. And I think so being the pain in the ass that Clocks is, he talks to the rest of them and says, here's the deal. We're going up against something that's really intense. This is another form of intelligence. We have to do this by the book, and basically telling the rest of the team, do your job and do it well, which they already know.
But we have this conversation every time we do a thing
Yes.
together. So it's just the price of doing business with you, clocks.
Yes.
And she sort of goes, do you have access to its rules and its priorities that might help us move through?
This intelligence is very smart and does things the right way. So as you can tell, and he kind of gestures towards the protocol droid missing data, which no one else really recognizes. He's like, only half of this droid is present. The other half is maintained by the AI. I suspect that this is this other half was wiped after they made their delivery of the guest. It only makes sense that that's what would, what an efficient intelligence would do.
Can we confuse it if we overload it with information stuff?
Very possibly, but that's something we should only do as a last resort. I think that we should make the best entrance would be for us to be inconspicuous and fit in, because as soon as we confuse it, it will know something's up and lock down. And then it will be much harder. As you can see, these droids are armed, and we don't really want to have to fight our way in or out. And he stops and looks at Ava and says,
yeah, I know we don't want to go low key and not fight in or out. I understand the concept.
Yeah. Until we do, and then that's why you're alone. Yes.
Yeah, that's the way it usually goes. But the less I have to do, the better it is.
So with the AI, I guess the question that I was asking is, can you determine from what you found out from the project of what the priorities of the AI are? I understand that it's running the droids, but what is it that is going to be the most important priorities for it? Because if we fail to be inconspicuous, we can at least distract it with something that is more important than a couple of people bumbling around.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm not sure. I think Clocks is a little unsure about what a motivation for an AI would be. I think Clocks kind of thinks that's his job, but I like the idea that Sci-fi is saying, hey, what's the motivation of the droid AI kind of thing? Do you want to, that might be your role to do.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
I
I will ask you, and I will ask you to open up the files that you found about the AI, the abandoned project, and I will see if I can figure out what it is that is the sort of overriding priorities that have been programmed into this AI, particularly if there's something that is like, this rule is more important no matter what else you're doing, go to it. If that's been put in by the creators because they think they know better. Does that make any sense? That's what I'm looking for, is what is our, if we need to hold it or distract it or bring its attention to something, what are we doing?
Cool. I will first drop in to chat the corporate speak for chess. So you get this for free.
Thanks.
Chess, the corporate hospitality and entertainment service, is a unique neuro-accelerated synthetic entity responsible for ensuring the well-being of guests staying at the Octoria.
You said it was abandoned, and yet it might be in service here. Okay, that's a little bit worrying. But okay, that's cool. So unique in ensuring the well-being. So if a guest is, how should we say?
That's the question, right? That's the corporate speak.
Right.
That's the corporate speak.
Look, is the well-being of the guests really more important than the structural integrity of the hotel?
Yes, they would take care of the guests then instead of the structure.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, should we go, if we want to distract it, should we go punching out guests, or should we just do a thermal detonator somewhere where nobody will get greatly harmed except for the hotel itself? That's kind of important information.
That's cool. All right. Give me a gather intelligence roll.
So I'm going to use influence because I'm trying to understand the priority of things, but instead of using empathy, I'm actually going to use smartness. And Cox, you said you would assist me?
Yeah, so I assist by marking a stress. Is that right?
Correct.
And I think the way that that looks on screen is Clocks actually reaches up to his cybernetic implant, on the back of his head, and pulls out a a connection, and it's actually a corded connection, and he plugs it into the circle dials that that all Star Wars things have on the side of
Yes.
your glasses, so that you have you see this visually, whereas I typically see it, binary computer wise. You kind of see it visually through your glasses.
Oh, and she's like, oh, excellent. All right. So I think that gives me 4 dice that I'm rolling. So
All right. And none are glitches, right?
no.
So using
No.
glitch and stuff. Awesome. Glitching awesome. Oh,
I got a
yeah.
6, 2 5s, and yeah, I guess I got a 6.
Sweet. So success goes as intended. The two of you working together, you get a view, and you're trying to understand what are Chess's priorities. Ava throwing in the question of like, would you let the structure fall to save the guests? So you discover a couple of things. Number one, the original programming for Chess, yes, it would let the structure fall to enhance the well-being and safety of the guests. The second thing that you discover is that the guests often have their own, because it's so exclusive, they'll have their own corporate security teams who are not, by Chess's definition, guests. They are attaches. They are personal equipment of the guests. They are not, the Chess doesn't care. It's like, oh, well, you lost your watch? You could buy another watch. This as long as you are okay, guest, then that is what is important to me. Does that feel fair for a full success?
Well, you said 3 things.
I did.
Love it.
Yes.
I thought I said 2. 3 things. I mean, come on, I gotta make, no, okay. 2. I don't know why I said 3. 2. Yeah. So it would definitely let the structure fail to keep the well-being of guests, but guests is a very specific word in the programming for Chess.
Okay.
Oh, third thing. That's the original programming. If it's a true synthetic entity, it may have evolved. There's the third thing. Sorry, I did have a third thing. I mean, it could be carking Skynet, but
Okay.
it's a whole nother sci-fi, so probably not.
Flashbacks work?
Yeah, flashbacks work.
I know. Remind me how they do.
Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason, I'm missing the first couple words of. So, a flashback would happen to say, "Oh, well, I had something to take care of this." Right now, we're kind of in flashback because we jump forward to right on the edge of engagement, and now we're doing the gathering information. But once you're in the hotel, if you're like, "Oh, well, I've got a so-and-so gun," then I might say, "Oh, really?" If you don't have it in your load, or if you had some cool, well, wouldn't it be cool if I set this thing up? It's like Leverage, the TV show Leverage. And then you say that, and then I'll set a cost to it.
Okay. I thought it was typically a stress or something like that.
Yeah, the cost
Okay.
would be stress. Exactly.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I didn't close the loop, but yeah, that's exactly what the cost is.
And I'm going to ask a question now. You
Uh-huh.
said something about recovering stress. So this is a stress. It is one of our things. Is that going to be like only a downtime thing after the
No,
thing is done?
Once
Okay.
per run, you convey how the fiction gives you the opportunity to unwind, take a breather. And it's literally called take a breather. It's on column F, and you roll with a wait. Oh, this I didn't hold on. That there are more words, but they're hidden. So let me fix that join. There we go. You roll with an appropriate approach based on how you're taking a breather, and based on the number of if you bring out your angle during the scene, you get an extra die. And based on your success on that, that's how much stress you get back. If you get a 6, you get 3 stress back. Kind of like that, because it's made for a one shot, that it gives you a downtime like in the middle of the run.
Okay, that sounds good.
Rich, the entry with 1 to 3 seems incomplete as well.
Yes, it does. Wait, take what you can get, clear 1 stress. No, that's the whole thing.
Oh, I just see clear
Oh,
on my end. That's weird.
so now do you see it?
Oh. That's okay. We can go forward.
It might be because there's a lightning bolt icon there, and maybe
I see that now.
You see the lightning bolt icon?
No, I don't see a lightning bolt icon, but I see 1 stress.
That's weird. It might be a font thing. I had to actually work real hard to get those things to show up for me. So
Okay.
I was trying to ape the design of the pamphlet in the PDF. Like I find the lightning bolts not intuitive, but pretty.
Okay.
Here, let me just show you. This is what it looks like. I added the 1 stress, but see how it's got the little lightning bolty
Oh.
things? I copied it out and yeah. So I may have to go back. I'll do between sessions. I'll just put like 2 lightning bolts, 2 stress so that you can read it regardless of font problems. I didn't realize other folks would be able to see it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Okay, let's see here. So are we going in as staff? Are we just, I assume that you can't just walk in and wander around.
Yeah. But now, you talked about, yeah, that's a great question. I think we should, but let's answer this question. You guys are initially going in as staff, but you realize that the staff kind of cuts off before 50th floor, right? So you can get in. That insertion point isn't really the full engagement, but that's where we'll pause here to take a quick bio break, and then we'll talk about hitting the engagement roll after on the other side. Sound cool? All right. So as I said before we went to break, you guys are on the doorstep of your engagement role. It seems like you want to sneak your way in, right? The idea is you're inserting yourselves looking like service personnel, which you now know will service the first 50 floors of this fine establishment. But yeah, let's have one of you roll. I don't think there actually even is an engagement roll in this thing, but I'm using it because it's like great tech. So let's have you roll. So we'll go with
Not with me.
not you. Actually, let's double check. I don't think there's, I think the engagement roll is just a D6. No, help me out here. Expert in Force in the Dark.
Essentially, it's based on like if you've hit some things, like if the odds against you are huge, take minus, you start with 1, you subtract, they're huge against you, you gain some if you did some work to get things situated.
Yeah.
If you're like primed for the extent, essentially you just kind of go, does it even out or what? So
Yep. There's a series of questions, and
Let me
then
find that. Let me find that in the Blades players kit. Engagement. All right, that is not what I wanted. Where are you? Okay, that's not helpful. Huh. Okay, I picked up the player kit, but I thought it had the rules. Doesn't, so let me grab it from. It's in the character sheet.
it would be a GM task to talk through those conversation questions with the players. So it might be standard rules book.
Okay, that's fair. All right, let me.
But yeah, actually the main internet will probably give it to you.
Engagement roll 27. Okay, engagement roll. Once the players choose a plan and provide its detail, the DM cuts to the action, describing the scene. The crews start the operation and encounter the first obstacle. So the engagement roll is a fortune roll, starting with 1d for sheer luck. Is the operation particularly bold or daring? I think so. This is a super luxe thing. There are corporate security teams. I think it's a 1D. So you're sitting at 2D. Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors?
Oh, because we're pretty much going, let's get in there and then see what happens. So, I mean,
Okay,
and,
so-
you know, adjust. So we're going in flexible.
I think that's fair. Does the plan's detail expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
We know about the AI. We've looked into that, some of the ways to distract it. If it is one of the greater
Yep.
parts of our foes, then
But that doesn't take into that our plan doesn't take into account using a vulnerability right now. But
It does actually, because
It
we're
does?
going in as
Right,
not
you're right.
as items, as not real
Yes.
people.
Mhm. Yeah, right.
Okay, cool. Then that will take you up to 3 die. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation?
I don't think we've had any friends or contacts.
yeah, we didn't have rivals or friends.
That's true. So I think that's maybe a question that doesn't exist for this. So you don't have enemies or rivals that will take away a die. Are there any other elements that you want to consider? And that's lower tier, but that's not really a thing. Higher tier doesn't have a thing. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything else to consider. It feels like we're covering everything here, which means you're at 3 dice. Whoever wants to roll 3 dice, go for it.
I think Sherry should do it. She's been rolling pretty good.
There you go.
My highest was a 5.
All right. And I'm just finishing up the engagement roll. Hack this in because oops. There we go. Hack that in. All right. Good. So with a 5 per our normal, not bad. A partial success. So we jump ahead. We've got an hour left. I think we can get through a lot here. I'm excited to see how this goes. So we jump ahead to the 3 of you moving through the from the 50th floor up to the top where it's primo. You've got a 5, so your engagement roll clocks. You slice your way in, and you guys are able to walk. And you see that there are cameras following your movements, but you're not guests. They aren't worried about your well-being. The protocol droid that comes down one of the hallways as you guys are moving along just walks right past you, doesn't even engage with you. But there is, per the 5, a bit of a consequence or complication. The target is on floor 70. Your target, again, as a reminder, is Chendafai. And Chendafai is on row 70, floor 70. She has a corporate team. You are making your way to the lift for 70. When it reaches the floor directly underneath, the elevator doors open, and there are a couple of Ava. They are packed, like they are strapped. A couple of individuals in nice suits who have kind of rough looking expressions. One of them is a we got to get a little Star Wars in, so I'm now going to grab we'll say that one of them's a Deveronian, so he's got a pair of this cool, horns, red skin, kind of devil face looking individual. And the 2 of them were waiting on the elevator when it's like they queued it, and doors open up, and they look at the 2 of you, and then they step into the elevator. What do you do, Ava?
Are there 3 of us?
There are 3 of you and
Okay.
2 of them.
Okay. So are they aggressive? Are they any kind of threat to us?
The Deveronian seems surprised to see the 3 of you. You're dressed as service techs, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the other guy, the human, he taps a button to have the elevator go down. The doors start to close. The Deveronian tilts his head to the side. How did the three of you get up here?
Yeah, that is a good question, sir. That's a really good question. Look up there. I punch him out.
Nice. So he like kind of rolls his eyes up for a second, falling for the oldest trick in the book. And I think that it is time to go to combat. Hey,
Yay.
Clocks, how are you feeling about this combat that just got thrown in your lap?
I think Clocks, what we see on camera is basically Clocks looks up like the rest of them and hears this clunk and goes, oh no.
All right. Aggression plus close combat feels like where you're headed, but you tell me, is that the approach? And
That is
that
the
skill?
approach. Yes, that is the approach. And I have my cyber arms. They're still super strong. That is not the hunted thing or anything. It's just, yeah.
Okay,
And,
so you're bringing the cyberware as well. So that's 6 total
sure,
dice.
6 total dice. If I exchange one of these dice for an edge, what does that give me?
The edge would give you an increased effect. Right now, it's mono a mono, you and the Deveronian guy, but he's got a buddy. If you go for increased effect, then you can affect the other guy as well.
I will want to do this.
Okay, so you're rolling 5 dice again.
Yeah, let's see. Hey, you can roll higher than 2, you know that, or
we
3.
can't guarantee it.
Yeah,
D4s, roll all D4s.
No, these are the 6s I'm rolling.
Okay, if you say so.
Let's see. Yeah,
that's much
wow,
better.
okay, that's much better. Yeah, there's
all
a
right.
6.
So you traded for more effect.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that you punch this guy. Before he goes down, because it doesn't take just one punch, like you hit, you solidly connect, and you feel this guy has some cybernetics as well. He starts to twitch and move very quickly. You hit him again, and he realizes he doesn't have time to grab for a weapon, so he just punches you right in the side. And I'm going to say that he has kind of like a spur that comes out, and he deals a level 1 harm to you before he goes down on the 3rd punch. Then the other guy tries to draw out a blaster, but you got the increased effect, so you shove him out of the way and he drops the blaster. Sci-Fi, he's not down yet, but he's not armed with the blaster pistol he was trying to draw. Sci-Fi, what do you do?
One question.
Yes.
I failed to say that I have an armor, but would you be okay if I say I have light armor at least under my service stuff, or is that?
Why do we flash back to you procuring some armor?
Yeah, I like that.
Cool. I think that makes a lot of sense. So I am okay with it. Just you pay 1 stress, and
yes,
you've got some armor you can go ahead and check. Actually, you've got hold on. You don't need to pay stress. Remember, so in Force of the Dark, you define what your gear is. If you want to use that armor right now, just check that box. You get 4 other items that you can pull within your gear. Sorry, I didn't realize that armor is one of the options for gear for you.
Oh, nice.
Should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is. There, I'm checking it off there.
Boom.
Okay. Cool.
So that harm is blocked by the armor. You would have, but it turned out that you had some kind of some kind of weave mesh or something that.
Yeah, it's kind of unobtrusive, really. If you look at Ava's picture, you don't really see it, but that is a sort of Dura weave mesh thingy that she's wearing, and it blocks punches and stuff like that.
Awesome. So that armor saved your side there, and you can uncheck the. You didn't mark any harms. You're good. Sci-Fi, this human corp bodyguard guy tried to draw a blaster pistol on your ally teammate Ava and failed. What are you doing?
Well, essentially, I know that it is very easy for them to believe that I'm no threat whatsoever because I'm just a winsome young thing. So I kind of do a shriek and try to move away. And I step on his gun, and then I have mine shoved in his ribs. I will go ahead and shoot him if I can. But
let's see how that goes.
Yeah. So let's see here. I will go with range combat and then I use caution is what you use. I don't think empathy.
Yeah, I don't think
typically
empathy is.
for, yeah,
I'm so sorry. I'm shooting you.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Cool.
This is the
So
easiest way to go.
So
that
I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to take my action, which is to assist you. And I think I send you information like through your glasses that indicate, this is his blind side.
Okay, excellent. So that's where I've stepped to.
Oh,
That
that's
sounds
awesome.
awesome.
So mark a
Okay.
stress on clocks, and that gives you another die. So you're rolling 1, 2, 3 total dice.
Mhm.
None of them are glitchy.
All right. Not a good roll, though.
2, 3, and 1.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So
Ouch.
1, 2, or 3 on that is a fail. Things go bad and they suffer the consequences. You step on the blaster.
Ouch.
Uh
Twist my ankle.
yeah. Yeah. Let's say you step on the blaster, you start to reach down for it. He shoves you aside, realizing, hey, you're gonna shoot me with my own gun. That I'll never live that down if I live at all. So shoves you to the ground, twist your ankle a little bit, you can take a level 1 harm. Unless you would like to resist it.
Yeah, why don't I try? Because everything's going so great right now. So let's see here. So my resist would probably be on caution because that was what I was rolling.
There you go. That works for
Okay.
me.
All right.
Single die,
Good. Set myself,
resist.
I know, but what can you do? So,
Cool.
okay.
So you don't take the harm. This is just
Well,
about
I
how much
rolled a
stress you take.
2, so I get to take 3 stress.
You get to take 3 stress. Whoa, man. So you don't twist, you don't take any physical harm, but it does stress you a little bit. All right. Let's roll back around to Ava. So Clocks and Sci-Fi tried to take out this other guard. He's no longer gotten his gun. He shoved Sci-Fi to the ground. At this point, you hear like a soft ding. And you are facing off with this guy. He pops into some kind of martial arts stance or something, like he knows you're the biggest threat. What do you do?
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, we at our where we wanted to go?
The
at
bell
the-
just dinged. You think you just reached the 70th floor?
Okay, I think I'll need to first punch the don't open the door button.
Oh, okay.
Because
Like the run stop thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
because I mean I can move my hands like and he will understand that I'm doing this, that I can move my hands a lot differently than he would have expect, because now I'm hitting him on the back of his head, because punching him from the front is nice, but back is also nice. We can go.
Teleporting arms. That's fun. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're not teleporting. They're just they're like
telescoping. Yeah, not teleporting.
yeah.
Sorry.
yeah,
Don't know
like
why I said
that,
teleport.
like this Fantastic Four guy, Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Sort of like that. So yeah, I'm going punch with a punch, back and forth, back and front. And I'm using, do I use my cyber arms for the edge this time, or do I just, no, come on. There are 2 of them. They will kind of, I hope they will be able to just occupy the other guy before I can punch him out. So I'll just try to take care of this disciplinarian thingy guy here.
All right. Let's see if you can take out this last guy.
Let's see if I can take him out. There are 2 5s, so yeah, well, could have gone better, but could have been worse. Has been worse. Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've got a 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying
Or
you had
2.
rolling 5 dice. A 5.
No.
I apologize for that. Pause. A 5 is partial success. You do suffer a consequence. All right. Again, per Force of the Dark, you can resist this, but I think the consequence. Oh, here, I'll do this consequence. You will, in the middle of the fight, he's going to try to reach out, grab one of your arms, and try to disconnect it. Do you want to resist that?
Oh, definitely, I want to resist that.
All right.
What do I roll?
What approach are you using to try to resist having your right arm disconnected from your body?
I'm punching him with my left arm. Come
Uh,
on.
So aggression then. Go ahead and roll
Yeah.
your
No.
aggression to resist this.
Damn it. Can't just take my arms out.
He's realized, the fatal flaw, baby. We'll see though.
Well, I don't know. I've got a 5 again.
Okay, 5 being your best as we hop over to the game rules for resistance. A 5 means not bad. You mark 2 stress, but he
Oh.
does not disconnect. So there's a point where you hit him before he's able to disconnect your right arm. He falls to the ground, and then there is a soft chime from the elevator, and you would hear a very human sounding voice. Occupants of elevator bay 4, do you need assistance?
And I think that Clock stands up, brushes himself off, and says, 2 of the protection units from floor 69 became overly aggressive with maintenance personnel. Suggest infirmary and jail.
Ooh, nice. I think you're trying to convince Chess to dispose of the 2 assailants here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's build a roll on that. Which approach do you feel like you're using?
Probably smartness.
I buy that.
Yeah.
And what skill do you think you've brought to bear?
I don't know if I have a skill associated with that. I would.
I think rigging could be like you're trying to trick or manipulate a thing.
Set their protocol.
Yeah.
Follow the typical protocol. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. You guys
so let's try
feel
that.
like that's fair? Sherry, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say that seems fair to me because we did research the priorities and
Awesome.
Okay. So let me roll that. Ooh, 2 6s.
Ooh, wow, critical success. There is only the briefest of pauses, and the voice says, yes, of course. I will send 2 units to dispose of the problem. Is there anything else that you need?
No. We are here to do maintenance, and we will stay out of the way from the guests. But if we need any assistance, of course, we will contact you again. Thank you for your prompt attention to this matter.
Of
and
course.
I think in this case, I think he states something to the effect of the assistance coming are not necessary. We will simply send this elevator out of service and return it down to the lower levels. And we'll step out of the elevator and then send it down.
That seems like a perfectly acceptable solution to the voice you're talking with. It doesn't even say anything more. Like, it just accepts that as good. Yeah, it is your critical success. You send the elevator away, and you're now standing on the 70th floor. The 70th floor is a long hallway and 3 doors, 2 opposite each other and 1 at the other end of the hallway. Basically, there are 3 suites in this entire floor. And it's not, I'm not going to make you like, that at the far end is where Miss Phi is.
okay.
Do we just one question? Our approach to Miss Phi is that we punch her and say, hey, give us your thingy, or do we try to trick her and steal her biometrics? Just so I know.
We typically would talk first, then punch, then steal. Because you can always take the biometrics after you've punched them.
So I think Clock's perspective is, as you know, as soon as the elevator starts heading down, he walks to the end of the hallway, and I'm going to try to open the door. Right. I figure that there's probably, you know, a certain amount of security on the doors and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to access the computers there.
Mhm.
And at the same time that I'm opening Chandra Fan, is that her name? Chandra Phi.
Chandra Phi.
As I'm opening her door, unlocking her door for our access, I'm locking the other two.
So let me
that-
ask, let me check in real quick. There was a mention in chat that, hey, we need a relaxation suite soon. Does anyone want to take this moment to take a breather?
Oh yeah, if I'm at 5 stress. I think I should maybe know what? There's a med kit, right? I can have a med kit, and that would have a stim in it, as we've learned in various games. And I will use that. I will equip myself the med kit now, and I will use that stim to. I mean, just, or maybe it's not a stim. It's more of a repair thing for the cyber arms, because they've been electric. They've been mangled a bit, so I'll just try to get them better.
Okay, cool. So per the take a breather roll, once per run, you convey how the fiction provides you an opportunity to unwind, roll with the appropriate approach. And do you want to try to bring in a bit of your angle into this conversation?
Well, my angle is pushed the edge, which I don't know. I mean, it's very...
Might be pushing the edge a little bit.
Yeah, seems so. But I think it's got to be with, I think, smartness or caution instead of aggression, because, I mean, this is not very aggressive. Yeah, but can I use endurance as a skill for this?
Well, the write-up for this is approach plus angle.
Plus angle.
So
okay, so I'll roll with 2, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But... see how that goes. Well, there's a 3, probably not very good.
Take what you can get. You clear a stress. What is it about the quick moment that you take that isn't like you're still stressed? Why do you think it isn't as effective? What's bothering your character?
Oh, okay, there it is. Take what you can get. Clear 1 stress. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, you know, there's not a lot of time. The stim is not, it's not really key to my proportions, so it's a bit much, right? I'm way less than most people, because
you don't have 2 arms, so
right. The arms weigh more, but they are not in my, they don't count for the way my body produces or handles stuff. So it's a bit much. So I'm a bit keyed up now. It's a different kind of stress.
Oh, nice. I like that. Does anyone else want to try to recover some stress here?
Sherry?
So I'm at 3, so I think if I take any more, I would, but...
Okay.
You can't recover more than 3. 3's the max, right? So
well, then I might as well. Okay.
Yeah, recovering stress is a little bit different. Like, you don't get hosed for it. You know, the thing, like, I lose my character because I roll badly. You roll an approach plus possibly an effect, and you can recover up to 3 stress.
Okay. Let's see here. So
if you roll critical, you can recover all your stress.
Yes.
Yes, well, that's unlikely, but so let's see here. I suppose my guess is that since this is all such high level thing, there are what do you say? Lots of very well designed oh, like literally relaxation meditations that are loaded in the protocols here, like the kind of stuff that have been, how do you say, designed by the people who are the very best at those, and it would
Oh,
cost
yeah.
a lot of money to get to. I think I would like to pirate some of that since I'm in the vicinity of it with my glasses, is just to link in and get a primo meditation thing that just, kind of a quick whoop to take down the stress.
Oh, it's totally a Kitsune branded relaxation program.
Exactly. That tells me about how wonderful and superior I am to everyone. The most relaxing information of all. So you roll these with an approach?
Yep, you roll an approach, and if you can work in your angle for why you're trying to do this whole cyberpunk running thing, then you get to add another die.
Yeah, how about this? My whole thing is I'm doing this because if I can pull this heist off, if we can get this, I and my sister, and we can leave the planet. And essentially,
Ooh.
we're going to go and be farmers somewhere away from all of this corporate stuff. We've got like this thing where, we've bought in a package in a place. Now we're going to get totally scammed to do it, but this is what we got our hopes pinned on. Is, we're going to be farmers. We got this beautiful vision of how romantic it will be. Like we're carrying baskets and stuff like that. It's just that sort of, yeah. Does that make any sense? This is
I mean, that
and I'm like,
sounds.
I just have to.
This sounds like such a car wreck. I love it.
Yeah, so it's very smart with people, but not with their future. So, okay, so I guess this would be, so empathy, I don't know, or
I mean, I could see empathy. You're doing a empathy on yourself kind of deal.
exactly. And self-empathy is an important thing. So, but, and then, so +1 for my thing. So
Plus
that's
one
3
for-
dice.
Three
Okay.
dice. And it's a Kofuku Kitsune branded self-love.
My sister's
uh,
favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, your sister's favorite, totally.
4 is as good as it gets.
4 as good as it gets. Well, that is not bad. For this thing, well, it actually says suck it up. Clear 2, or you can ignore a level 1 harm penalty, which you don't have any level 1 harm. So
Okay.
you get to clear 2 stress.
I did. All right.
What about our clocks?
I was going to say, since we're taking a little bit of a break, I think I'll do the same kind of thing. This is the right thing to do, is just before we go in to have the main confrontation. As I interface with the computers, in order to lock the doors and open the door and all that kind of stuff, I believe this is where the protocols would be the least protective, because this is the guest interface.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I'm going to do my standard scan of records to see if they potentially have any records of Odrun Gabir, my original name, and can feed anything
yeah.
back.
Totally. I love it. That absolutely hits your seeking. I like that.
So I think that's 3d6 as well. Because I think that's smartness.
Feels fair.
And I rolled a 5 as my highest.
Ooh, okay. 5 is the actual same as the 4 results, so you clear 2 stress.
Okay. Perfect.
Good. Oh, you guys take a brief breather, recoup a little bit. Ava still looks on edge, but yeah, she's gonna have to roll forward.
Do what we can to
well.
protect.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm feeling good. I got
I
to
can
punch
feel
out
the good in your voice.
Yeah. Oh, I should get a cyber voice. Just
Oh.
almost threatening.
Yes.
That would be epic.
You're plenty threatening, Ava. You're very, very threatening.
Yeah, but I don't sound like it. I sound like I don't know. Yeah,
And
let's
I think
go.
I turn to the two of you and I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
stay on target.
We're waiting for you. clocks.
So I'm gonna hack the doors.
Okay.
That is probably. I'm gonna stay with caution on this
Okay.
one, just to make sure we don't alert anyone. And that's hacking and slicing, probably.
Yes. Yes.
A. The great 3d6.
Do you want to use your glitchy wireless interface?
I want to use my enhanced brain. The wireless interface would be good with cameras and droids, but I think I'd use a brain instead.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're bringing that
to get around
cyberware,
anything.
and that's
So
your.
I rolled 3d6, so I've got a 113. Let me roll 1d6 and see what that does. Thank you for reminding me I could add in cyberware. That extra die was a 5.
Saved your bacon.
Yeah.
Cool. So partial success, you do it, but also suffer a consequence. You're trying to be cautious. So I'll give you a choice of consequences. You can either eat 2 stress, which, like, you can't really resist that, because then you will take stress to resist stress. I mean, you can, but like the math isn't great. Or there is a guard who's in a proximity close enough to where you can get in the door and get the drop on him, but he's there. Your choice.
Yeah. Just because it's more fun for everyone else, I think I will take there's a guard. This is one of her guards, not one of our guards. And what we see is, clocks, interfaces with the locks the 2 other doors, unlocks her door, but there was extra security, computer security there. So we see like little LEDs, like you would on the side of the interface, start to activate faster and faster and faster. And then the door slides open and there's a guard right there.
Yep. Yeah. There's a guard right there. As the door slides open, you see there's a guy who is in a he's a blue skin chiss. So they have the very pretty cobalt blue skin, the oddly demonic red eyes. He's wearing a suit not unlike the 2 guys that you took out in the elevator, and he is drawing out his blaster pistol right now. What do you do?
So what Clocks does, this isn't his job, right? This is Clocks takes the bag of tools that he brought with him, right, and hands it to the guy, like, oh, here, hold this for a second. And I'm going to assist anyone else who wants to shoot or hit. I'm the distraction, right? Yeah.
So
I'll totally take the consequence as well. But,
yeah,
I'm not the fight. Yeah.
Let's go play. So I want to decide, do you want to talk to this guy or should I just punch him out?
Oh, no, you can go ahead and punch him, because I'm going to do something else. Essentially, Lux Sweet, I think if I can, what my thing is as Ava goes after her, think of it as I'm sliding right past. I'm going through the controls. I want to do a sound dampener because I know they've got things to silence parts of this this apartment. So that's what I'm going to go for.
Okay, so we got 2 people helping Ava.
So, and I'm saying, damn it, Clocks, and I hit this guy.
All right. Fill that roll.
Yeah,
I will spend that stress.
Okay. So you get an extra die from Sci-fi helping you.
Okay. And I get an extra die from
Clocks
helping.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a lot of dice.
A lot of dice. And then
We would like a critical, but a success will do too.
what approach are you using?
I think I'm gonna use empathy and
Nice. This is good.
no, I'm not. I'm gonna use aggression.
I look so hopeful for a moment.
No, I'm gonna use aggression and close combat because, come on, I know cyber karate, and this guy does not. So I will spend my edge though to make this as quiet as possible, because I've got a lot of dice.
All right. Good luck.
Okay, let's see how that works. Yeah, there are 2 6s.
Oh, 2 6s. Now,
works
you weren't
pretty
using
well.
anything that was glitchy, right?
No, I
Yeah.
don't have anything that's glitchy.
That's true. You are not yet glitchy. That is awesome.
Glitchy.
Sweet. With 2 successes.
Mhm.
Tell me, what does this look like as you take down this Chiss who thought he had the drop on you?
I think the Chiss looking like he wants to draw his gun, then he gets handed the toolbox and he's a bit confused about this. And then Ava stops and steps in front of him and he looks up like, what now? And Ava's like, damn it, clocks. And then he doesn't even understand what she's talking about until one of her cyber, I think one of her cyber hands just bonks him on the head. Well, that's what that is, yeah. And the other arm catches him before he even hits the ground.
Nice. So you like whack, whack, whack. And he's still holding the what collects, and that he falls and you ease him to the ground.
And I look at him and say, hey,
yeah.
you dropped your tools.
Now this front like little, it's like a not a den, like, you know, just like the like a living room is like the area that people can come into. It's not a foyer, but you could actually entertain folks without letting them into the majority of your house. I can't even know what that, I can't remember what that room would be called, but it's just
A receiving room?
sure. This looks like a receiving room. There's a hollow wall display. There are a couple of couches. There are some doorways out of this particular room itself, but this is obviously like, this is where you can get a guest and they don't get into the majority of the suite. You know from layouts that this particular section is like a third of the entire floor. That there is an office, a workout room. There's also kind of barracks here for her corp security team. A kitchen. Like, she's living here right now and has been for the last week. So you take out this first guard and he slumps to the ground. They are none the wiser because that critical success, you took this guy out. What do you want to do next?
I think
Also-
with this, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can you close the door to the barracks?
Yeah, so I think this guy is starting to hit the ground, and I'll reach into like his pocket where he has his comlink, like that little, little thing, and I think I hand that to Sci-Fi Far 6, and say, just in case we need to throw off the other guards, and I'll go over and I'll lock the barracks section or lock down. So where do we think she would be at this time?
That's what my glasses can tell us.
Oh, okay, perfect.
At least we can get a sense of which direction off of the thing to go down and that sort of thing. Maybe
So in that
about
case,
how far away.
After you figure out where she is, I'll try to lock down so that everything other than that.
Sounds good. All right, let's get a roll up there. Sci-Fi, what's your approach? You're talking on mute, Sherry.
So my approach is probably smartness, in the sense of that this, and then observation, and I have my glasses. So the cyberware gives me another die. Is that what it does?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 3 dice. All right.
3 dice.
Really?
Good luck.
Okay.
This is
What?
nice.
Wait,
Yeah,
right?
4.
It's 3, right? Or is it?
Would be 3. but
I'll
he
help for a
offered-
4th.
Okay.
That gave me a 6. 2 6s, critical.
Ah, dang it. These dice are making it hard to be challenging. You guys are really good at your jobs. Miss Phi is currently based off, like, you already had the sneaking suspicion, like maybe you accessed previous itineraries of hers. And it turns out that you access your glasses, you see that there is a guard standing outside of the workout room. She's inside the workout room. There are a couple of guards who evidently are making themselves some snacks or something, and then 3 more guards who are asleep in the barracks.
So if we get the kitchen locked down, then we just have that one guard that's in front of the workout room.
Right.
Okay. And
Oh, and your visor like is giving you like warning about the particular guard in front of the office. Critical success. He is a sorry, I'm about to drop a weird Star Wars race that I think maybe only exists in like the RPG and maybe stuff. It's called a Herglick. I will show you a picture. The Herglick are a species who are water-based mammals, and they are. That is a Rhodian. That is a Herglick. They are very, very. They're about 2.2 meters, 1.7 to 2.2 meters.
Okay, so it's.
Sabine, double check me. 2.2 meters is really, really freaking tall, right?
That's 7 feet, I think. Yes.
Okay.
That's freaking
So-
tall.
So is his skin like wet or slimy or something like that, or is it more just very smooth?
It's they're
This is water based, so
yeah, they came from a water-based world. Imagine like what shoot
Whales, maybe
like
like
yeah,
a
it's
whales
like
or
a killer
dolphins or
whale.
something.
They're kind of like anthropomorphic killer whales, if that
so
helps picture things.
yeah, I just wanted to know if they had like if that also suggested a bait. Like, does that make
Oh,
any
a bait.
sense?
Yeah, if you dry them out, salt them, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would suck a lot. For them.
Okay.
Or
Yes.
electrocute them.
Yes, that's also gonna hurt.
Well, that hurts everything mostly.
Oh,
So,
Right.
fair.
But
yes,
water-based
but,
is
you know,
more. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we know that. And then do we essentially she's doing a workout. So she has a workout routine that's going on.
Mhm.
Can I like flip that up so I can see what her workout is? And I
sure.
may actually work with clocks to see if we can send start working on her, so to speak. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
So I'm going to see about trying to lock down the barracks and the kitchen. I offer the option, if you'd like, you could see if you could use the communicator to radio the guard that's left and say you need a break, as if you're the front door guard. So that's the only one who should be talking on that. And then you could potentially get the drop on the Herglick as he comes to relieve the front door guard. But that's up to you. It's just an option. So let me see about locking the doors. You said that you did a sound dampening. Is that right, Sci-fi 46? So I think I'm going to do the same thing. This is privacy mode, right? I'm going to engage privacy mode in these areas so that the guards and the they're not gonna hear any noise outside. This is intentionally so that people can make deals without having their employees hear what's going on.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
A white noise generator type deal. Totally
Yeah,
makes sense
yeah.
to me.
So this is smartness and hacking, and I'm going to say this is an interface with the local cameras, right?
That makes sense to me.
More
Yeah.
so than like high calculation with the brain. So that's 5. This is glitchy.
Ooh.
So let's see what happens.
Oh,
The glitch
5
die was
on
a
that,
5.
so that's fine. And a 6 is your highest die, right?
Yep.
Cool. So a 6 is a success. It goes as well as intended. So you were trying to trick the Herglick, saying, "Hey, it's time for you to take a break."
No,
Sorry.
I
Okay.
was locking down the barracks and the kitchen and turning on privacy mode so that they wouldn't hear any noise out here.
Cool. Okay. Locking down the barracks, no problem whatsoever. Success, easy. The kitchen, I'm trying to imagine like how you lock that. Yeah, I guess you lock a couple of the doors, but as long as they aren't, as long as they're still eating and not trying to get out, they
Yeah.
should be fine for now.
And-
It's definitely
and that
going to
was-
be an impediment.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought, just simply because I think they could get out. Normal safety protocols would be, oh, you hear noise, you come out to help your
Mhm.
employer. But with the privacy mode, they're not going to hear the noise. So it's just going to say, it's sort of the equivalent of, occupied, don't
Yep.
come out because I'm busy with somebody. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yep. Perfect.
Sweet. So you've dealt with everything except for the Herglick guard. Sci-Fi and
Uh,
Ava.
Yeah, so I think I can try to do this thing to pull him away from the exercise room and sort of like coming down the hallway towards the kitchen with that. It makes sense if I do a quick check through history for the guards chat, so I can pick up the door guy's voice,
Mhm.
and then see how they communicate with each other, just so I'm using the same
Nice.
verbiage. Especially
I
with
will-
the Herglick, like, do they call him me, like, what do they call him? And, what does break time sound like? Is it just a tone or are they actually coordinating?
I will set up my blaster pistol they have stun capacities, right? The blaster pistols. I will
Sure.
set it for Herglick because I feel that that might need a little more punch than the ordinary human setting would.
Sweet. Sci-Fi, you discover, not putting it to a roll, that the Herglick is a she/her, and don't know if this was the Herglick's given name, but they call her Bayside or Bay.
Bayside.
And since that was kind of Clock's suggestion, I'll assist as well. I'll spend that stress.
Man, you eat stress like crazy. Like, whoa, so much stress. I love it.
Okay, so I'm using influence,
Yep.
I'm using empathy,
Yep.
I've listened to the things. And
You got
so that's
one
4.
die coming from Clocks. And was Ava, were you throwing in a help? I can't remember if
She's-
Ava spent a stress.
No, I don't.
She's getting set up for the Herglick.
Yeah,
I will
probably.
Setting
assist
my-
you when the time comes, okay?
All right, so 5
So-
dice.
5 dice. In theory, I should be able to make a success out of this, but it is dice. 2 6s, critical. Yeah, and here's the thing is, in listening, I realized that the Herglick is pregnant. So they're like,
Oh,
go get
nice.
off your feet. I'll pick up the door. Don't worry.
nice. So you say, go get off your feet. You pop in. You're using a voice mod that allows you to sound just like the guy at the front door, and then over the comms you hear,
Oh, great. Thank you. So tired. My feet. I don't even want to talk about it.
I was like, yeah, I get it.
and
Like
then,
he doesn't want to hear it,
He's like, oh, please, Bayside, please, no, do not get into details about your spawn. Sweet, that is great. And the Herglick moves like trusting that nobody is coming the front door. And
I turn to Ava and I go, Herglick's pregnant.
Okay, I'll reconfigure the stun settings. That is not great. That is not great, but
Then I will assist.
yeah, thank you. So I will then attempt to kind of stun the Herglick when she's not expecting it.
sweet. So she kind of moves on through, and you hear her coming, right? She walks,
Yeah.
but she's like 400 pounds, so it's the kind of thing where you just feel it through the floor. And
Glad
yeah,
that I don't have to punch her, especially with her being pregnant. That could get messy. That could get so messy. I don't want to punch her. That's rare.
cool.
I don't
And
know.
then just so we're clear, like, this is GM talking to players.
Yeah.
This baby is not going to get hurt. Like, there
Yes.
is no consequence. That is
please.
just an interesting bit of color.
Please.
The baby is not under threat, no matter
Mhm.
what happens.
Mhm.
So
So on screen, I think we see, as we can feel the Herglet coming, we see like this glass of water there on the table, and it starts to ripple. And Clocks moves behind the table and kind of hunkers down, like I'm the scaredy cat. I'm out.
I'm hiding too because I wait till she's passed and then I can shoot her and I can catch her. Just so, no.
Yeah.
But I will shoot her with aggression and ranged combat.
Yep. Both of those are exactly what you're doing. I don't think cyber
that's-
arms come into effect
No,
here. You're
I
just
don't
using your
think
gun.
so.
Okay.
No, but I get help from
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi, right?
Yep. Look at you doing so well on stress, Sci-fi.
Oh, I haven't spent it yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, wow, I've got 3 6s. I mean, yeah. That is pinpoint precision on that stun setting. I know how to stun pregnant Herglig, and we're not going to talk about why I know this.
She was tired anyway. She just kind
What
of
are the
goes,
chances
"Oh."
of 3 6s on 5 dice? My goodness.
After a
Well-
person who rolled like 3 1s on 5 dice, I
I
think
mean,
that's about
oh,
fair.
okay.
I
Can
think
we
it's-
say that then I can catch her before she hits the ground? Like, not totally carry her, obviously, but just shoot at the cyber arms.
And I think we see your telescoping arms come out
Yeah.
to catch her.
Yes,
That's great.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
and she's out and not hurt, not harmed. You used your
Mhm.
blaster stun, so it's like that.
Mhm.
I need to get that sound effect into my little voice mod thingy because I love that sound effect. And yeah, she's down and out, resting peacefully.
Okay.
I think
It's 5 minutes to the end of the session.
yeah, I
so-
think is that like our like cliffhanger bit.
Yeah, we could do
Yeah,
that.
the cliffhanger bit, and that's where we'll stop. So I'd love to. There's no like XP for this game because it's supposed to be a 1-shot. I'm running it as a 2-shot, so there's that. Real quick bit of Stars and Wishes. I'm really curious to see what you guys think about the system. If there's anything I need to tweak or improve for our second half. So who'd like to go first with Wishes?
I'll go first with Wishes. Wishes, I noticed a couple of times that it was real easy for people to check things on my character sheet.
Mhm.
I think it's because the layout is slightly different than what we're used to. So I noticed at some point stress was clicked and gear was clicked, and I just moved it back to the right person and then unchecked mine. But it was something I think it's easy to do with this layout. I don't think there's any way you can
that's
change the
really
layout, but
interesting.
yeah.
That's a really interesting bit of feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
caught myself once on that, but I probably was one of the people that put some of your stuff. So.
And it's because if you go down a bunch of rows, it still looks the same kind of deal. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, layout.
And that's something that I do often. I really like the character keeper so you can see everyone's character sheet. So like on my character keeper, I'm scrolling up and down to see, can I lean into Sci-Fi or can I lean into Ava in some way? And it's really easy for me to be on the wrong character and not realize it. Yeah.
Maybe just instead of having the black thingies black, give them individual colors like dark red, dark green, dark blue, who's also a color, so we can tell more easily which character we're in.
That's a good point. I can just like for Ava, how the left-hand side is a dark yellow. If I go with a dark yellow on the stress, like everything could be dark yellow. Maybe that would help. I'll work on that. That's a good suggestion. This was a thing where the game designer actually created their own character keeper, except that every single character was on its own tab. And I'm like, bump that. And I didn't want to redesign it all together. So I just dropped each of the tabs underneath them. And I do think that it's a little flawed of an approach. Like I could probably just move these things around and do them left to right like our normal character keeper. I think that's really good feedback. Thank you for that. Cool. Anything else, Steven?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. Sherry or Sabine? Wishes?
I'm looking forward to getting into this because I haven't thought about how we're going to approach her. So that should be said, this gives me a whole week to get brilliant. So, and you guys too. So that's pretty cool. I will be curious what comes next then, what you're going to do for the next session.
I
Like
know.
some sort of mini thing or a complication or something.
Well, I have a complication in mind, but we'll see. We'll see.
Okay. And then yeah, so and then
Good.
wishes for
Thank you,
I mean,
Sabine.
we still could just pretend to be guests here just for funsies, but probably not. We're professionals, right? We are. No, I wishes. I don't think I have a lot of wishes. I got a lot of action this time, so I'm happy to sit back and let people do the talky thing for a bit. So
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Then we'll stick with you for stars. Do you have any stars to hand out, Sabine?
yeah, lots of stars. First of all, stars for everyone, for the characters. I loved Clark being like, oh, we need to be punctual and on mission and things. And also like, I mean, the name Sci-fi Farsix, that's such an
That is
epic
so
name.
cool.
That is very cool. And I want to see more of her talking people into stuff that they shouldn't really do. So yeah, that, and stars for for doing this game, because it's actually quite nice. And I like the way it's kind of toned down from the normal forged in the dark games, because they usually have a lot of moving bits, and this seems to be pared down a bit. I like it. So
Oh, good.
Yay.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much, Sabine. And so Sherry, you're next up. Do you have any stars to hand out?
yeah, I think you did a great job of picking complications and making it things that we wanted to resist or wanted to embrace. That they were good and flavorful all the way throughout.
Yay.
Big stars to Stephen, who is a joy and a pleasure and a constant assist, which is beloved. I had to start like looking at his stuff and then looking at mine. So I am probably the one that clicked into your sheet. I apologize. Just to see when I could help. So that's the thing is that sometimes helping is something that I usually in a game for Blades of the Dark, it's like 3 or 4 sessions before I get enough of a sense of how another player works that I'm like feeling like it's okay for me to go, oh, I'll help. You know, I'm like, you can't do that when you got 2 sessions. And so yeah, best role model ever, Stephen. And Sabine, your Ava is so honestly, what do you say, the muscle, but also charming at the same time. It was really good, really fun. I loved the bit in the elevator with the, oh yeah, that's a good question. That's a question. And yeah, just a good little bit of distraction and a punch. Very nicely done through. So very fun.
Cool. And then Stephen.
Is kind of to the system. We talked about this earlier. Whenever I first played Blades in the Dark, it was a one-shot, and I didn't care for it. This simplifies it so well for a one-shot that I think the cognitive load is a lot less. It's a little bit intimidating whenever you first look at it, but you know, whenever we got done with character creation, it was like, oh, it's literally just like you fill out 3 sections. It's very easy, and that's nice for a one-shot kind of thing. The other thing is, one of the things that concerns me a little bit about Blades, or that's always seems to kind of be an issue, is it takes you out of the fiction a little bit whenever you do the swapping back and forth between different phases. And I don't think as a one shot that'll really exist here, because it only has the one phase. And that's kind of nice. And you know, I really enjoyed the characters. I was surprised at how well the characters all fit together and meshed together. I was like, oh, I'm going to be the muscle. I'm going to be the, you know, the sight person, the talky kind of person. I'm like, great. I'm going to be the rigger, you know, the guy who interfaces with computers. And it seemed to mesh so well and just really look like a show that we would see. I especially like, you know, as Sherry mentioned, I like the scene in the elevator. That was a lot of fun. I like the scene, and how we set up coming into this apartment. I like the scene, how we set up in the bar. It just really fired on all cylinders. So I like this. Yeah.
I was I wanted to be prepped for this because new system. I didn't want to like go on the fly with a mission, so I yanked something down and prepped for it. And it said it's good for these kind of people and not so good for these kind of people. It's actually a from the sprawl, and I thought, okay, good. I kind of grok the sprawls PBTA-ness, and you guys made characters that were literally perfectly suited to do this mission. It made me so very happy because I was like, I'm just gonna have to guide them in character creation if they want to come up with a pilot. And then you guys had the first early conversation about pilot. I'm like, and then Sherry just like, I don't know if we're gonna do a whole lot of piloting. I'm like, oh, thank God, yes, yay! It was so great. So thank you guys for working well together. I like you think that this trio is cool, and there's a part of me where I'm like, oh, I want downtime scenes. I want to see these guys out in the world and like interfacing with things. And I think that's really cool. I may even start next session in like a downtimey mode. And then we jump to what's going on with Miss Fi, just to like get to know you people like a little bit more about your drives kind of deal. That would be fun because I think
What
they're
kind of
super
like
interesting.
Kind of like a narrative flashback kind of thing.
Yeah, like a narrative flashback, not to get you a mechanical thing, but just so we as a group, we could take a little bit of time, maybe like a half hour total, 7 to 10 minutes per person. It's like see them in their lives and what drives them to do this wild thing. And then we jump into the Misfi face off, whatever that happens there. It's going to be fun. Cool. Thank you all so much for participating in this, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And with that, we'll bring this recording to a close.